drive-through and complete catering services. From its beginning, Bush's Chicken has served and will continue to serve the best chicken, the best tenders, and the best team at the best value. Bush's Chicken, simply the best.
Welcome back to the broadcast. We had some technical difficulties up here with power supply apparently, and then rebooting everything. Catch you up to speed. There's 6 minutes and 2 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Lamar took the opening kickoff, drove it down, a combination of passing plays and rushes, scored a touchdown on a short run by Michael Bradley. The extra point was no good. Midland drove down to about the 35-yard line or so. Now we've got a fake punt going from Lamar. It's Dayton Dubbs, and he's going to have a first down on a fake punt at the 41-yard line inside Lamar territory. So let me get you caught up. So again, Lamar scored on their opening possession. The extra point was no good. Kicked off. Lee drove into about the 30-yard line or so in Viking territory. Went for it on fourth down, I believe. Didn't get the first down. Lamar took over, and now they had fourth down and several. I'm trying to get everything back together here. It was 4th and 1. They went for a fake punt, and Dayton Dubbs was set up in punting formation. He took the snap and went around the right side to this sideline. They're bringing the chains across to measure. It looked like he had it from where the referee was standing, the line judge. And I can't see where the ball and the chain are because it's right in front of the Lee sideline. But we're going to hear from the crowd in just a few moments. And it's a first down for the Vikings on the fake punt by Dayton Dubbs. He just got enough, it looks like. So out of the box here, Lamar has scored a touchdown, held on defense, and now converted on a 4th and 1 on a fake punt by Dayton Dubbs. So apologize for our technical difficulties earlier, and hope that everyone saw the message up and is joined back and hung with us. We appreciate that very much. So now it's 1st and 10 for the Vikings at their own 40-yard line. Dawson takes a snap, throws to this sideline to Trayvon West. He's completing across the 50-yard line, and let's see where they mark it. He's going to be real close to a first down if he doesn't have it. He needed to get to the 49-yard line in Midland Lee territory, and he does have it exactly at the first down mark. 1st and 10 for the Vikings at the Midland Lee Rebel 49-yard line. So once again, the Vikings lead 6-0, scoring on their opening possession, and then holding on a drive on Midland Lee. Now Dawson steps back, throws to this side again. It was Jalen Jones. He caught the pass at the, well, let's see what they're saying now. Looks like they're going to say incomplete. So it's going to be 2nd down and 10 for the Vikings at the Rebel 49-yard line. We had 3 receivers far side, one in motion. It's a handoff in the backfield. Jalen Jones takes it, and he's going to be dropped for about 1.5 yards, maybe 2-yard loss. Line of scrimmage was the 49 in Lee territory. Now it's the 49 back in Lamar territory. So now it's going to be 3rd down and 12. Dawson drops back, throws deep for Trayvon West. It's complete at about the 10-yard line. He's tackled and rolls forward to the 6-yard line. It's going to be Lamar Vikings 1st and goal at the Midland Lee 6. That ball went 45 yards from their own 49 to the 6-yard line. 49 yards on the pass play from Jack Dawson to Trayvon West. It's 1st and goal for the Vikings at the 6-yard line. Dawson throws to the corner of the end zone. A little bit overthrown in the corner of the end zone. It's incomplete. There was a slight chance of an interception, but not really too much of a threat of that. And now it's going to be 2nd down and goal at the Midland Lee 6-yard line. Getting the play called in. We've got triple receivers, trips left, one in the backfield, just to the left of Dawson. It's a handoff up the middle. Jalen Jones, he's going to push his way in. Touchdown, Vikings. 6-yard touchdown run by number 23, Jalen Jones, on the handoff straight up the middle. And like that, with 4:22 to go in the first quarter, it's 12-0 for the Vikings. Waiting on the point after. So that drive started back around the 30-yard line, about a 70-yard drive. The key play there, one of the key plays, was the fake punt by Dayton Dubs to convert on 4th and 1. Then the 45-yard touchdown pass from Jack Dawson to Trayvon West to put him up at the 6-yard line, 1st and goal. And then on 2nd and goal at the 6, the 6-yard touchdown run by number 23, Jalen Jones. And now the Vikings, with the point after good, lead 13-0. So a great start here in this first quarter for the Vikings. I want to thank some family and friends that are listening. I left a family gathering early this morning in Austin to get out here to do this broadcast, and want to thank brother-in-law Chris Richards, sister Carol Richards for hosting a lot of our family. Just got a text message from Mel Skaggs, brother-in-law, and his wife Susan Skaggs, my sister as well, letting us know a little tweak we can make here on some volume possibly. Vikings come back out to kick off now. Do their little stutter step sort of fake onside kick. Come back in regular kickoff formation. And the ball is up in the air. It's kicked to this corner of the field. It's going to go right to the goal line and bounce into the end zone. It's going to be a touchback. So Midland Lee will start this drive at their own 25-yard line. So a heck of a start on both sides of the ball for the Vikings offensively. 2 touchdown drives on their 2 possessions. And then the defense held, it appeared to be on 4th down. I was trying to help troubleshoot some things here. But they got the ball over from Midland Lee. And now Lee will have their second possession starting at their own 25-yard line. 1st and 10. They're going to come out with 2 receivers right, 1 left. 2 in the backfield with the quarterback. It's going to be a handoff around the far side. He's going to struggle to get across the 25, the line of scrimmage. He gets out to the 27-yard line, maybe the 28. See where they spot it down. And we're going to call that a 3-yard gain to the 28-yard line. 2nd down and 7 for the Lee Rebels. Now they've got 1 receiver right, 2 left. 1 in the backfield next to the quarterback. He'll take the snap. It's a zone read. He's going to be captured in the backfield by Bobby Brown for a loss on the play. Also assisting is number 13, Sam Townsend. Number 34, Josiah Mercado, was also back there, but Bobby Brown just penetrated through the line of scrimmage and wrapped him up. They're going to give him forward progress. It's only a loss of 1, maybe 2. It's 3rd down and 9, loss of 2 on that play. Twins right, twins left actually. Here's the snap. Quarterback Stander's back. He's looking for a receiver. Now he runs up the middle. He's going to have the 1st down across the 35, and he'll get out to the 39-yard line. So when he didn't have a receiver open, because our secondary for Lamar was covering all the receivers very well, then he saw a seam straight up the middle, and he was able to get the 1st down at the 39-yard line. Here's a snap. It's a handoff up the middle. He's wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. And that's going to be no gain, possibly a loss of a yard. And it looks like they do mark it for a loss of 1 yard. So it'll be 2nd down and 11 for the Rebels at their own 38-yard line. That play goes nowhere. Now we've got an injured player, and that's Bobby Brown, who is on the ground. And he has rolled over from his back. Now he's getting up on his knees. He got something tweaked. He gets up on his own power just as the trainers were coming out onto the field. He's going to exit the field. No gain on that previous play, so it's going to be 3rd down and 11 for the Rebels at their own 38-yard line. They're going to try to get to their own 49-yard line for a 1st down. Quarterback throws across the middle, is caught at the 40-yard line in Viking territory to the 30, 20. He's got a chase on, and he's going to score a touchdown. So the Midland Lee Rebels now score on a 62-yard pass play. It was a seam pass caught across the middle on a crossing route. And then he was off to the races, and no one was able to catch him for Lamar. So like that, it's now 13-6 with 2:25 to go in the 1st quarter. And the extra point is up, and it's good. And now the score is Lamar 13, Lee 7, with 2:25 to go here in the 1st quarter. Well, like I said at the beginning of the broadcast before we had the power failure during the pregame show, it's a beautiful day here in Midland at Grande Communications Stadium. 69 degrees now. It's warmed up just a little bit. High forecast this afternoon is anticipated to be around 70 degrees. It's a very sunny sky. Some really high scattered clouds, but it's a sunny with sharp shadows. No rain in the forecast, but there are some pretty good winds coming east to west across the stadium. The playing field is about 20 feet or so below street or ground level. Kind of a little bit of a bowl situation. Good crowd here from Midland Lee, the hometown team. And we've got a pretty good crowd across the stands for the Lamar Vikings. Looks like we've got Trayvon West and Jalen Jones deep to return this kickoff. And the kick is up. It's a squib kick straight down the middle of the field on the left hash mark, fielded by Trayvon West at the 11. He's out to the 20, 30, 40, 45, 50. There's a flag in the backfield, so this is coming back, most likely a holding call. But boy, he got that ball, picked it up, and he accelerated down the left side of the field for him, the far sideline. And the preliminary indication, it looks like holding against the Vikings. So what was a wonderful kickoff return by Trayvon West is coming back. And actually, it's going to be an illegal block in the back by the Vikings. Basically the same result. So that'll be a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. And they're walking backwards to the 14-yard line. So instead of starting at midfield after that return, the Vikings will start 1st and 10 at their own, actually 15-yard line. Twin receivers left, the ball on the far hash mark, one receiver right. It's going to be a handoff up the middle for Bradley, I believe. He's going to get across the line of scrimmage. Looks like he's going to get about 3 yards to the 18-yard line. Now Bradley's going to come out for a play. And it's going to be 2nd down and 7 for the Vikings at their own 23-yard line. 1:48 to go in the 1st quarter. The Vikings lead 13-7. Come back to the line of scrimmage. Trips left, single receiver right, one in the backfield. Now man in motion. It's going to be a handoff to Matthew Shaw. Cuts across the 20 gets tripped up at the 25-yard line. And that's going to be very close to, and he's got the 1st down at the 25-yard line, just enough exactly. So Matthew Shaw comes across in motion out of a receiver spot to this sideline, makes a good turn, trips up a little bit, but lands right at the first down marker on the 25-yard line. So 1st and 10 now for the Vikings at their own 25-yard line. Trips left, single receiver right. One in the backfield with Jack Dawson. He steps back. He's looking left, throws down the middle of the field, and it's going to be overthrown, intended for Dayton Dubs at the 40-yard line. A little bit of contact, but after the ball was overthrown, that'll bring up 2nd down and 10. Dubs had gotten away from his coverage man just enough to, if that ball had been placed just a little bit better, he probably would have had the reception, but we'll come back now with 2nd down and 10. 1:02 to go in the first quarter. Clock stopped on the incomplete pass. Twins left, single right. Here's the snap. Dawson steps back. He's looking for a receiver. He connects at the 25-yard line. 27-yard line will be the gain. It's Jalen Jones for about a 2-yard gain. And that's going to bring up 3rd down and 8 on the short little screen pass as Jalen Jones was coming across. 3rd down and 8 for the Vikings at their own 27. They need to get to the 35-yard line for the first down. Moving left to right. Twins left, single right. Here's a snap. Dawson steps back. He's looking, goes across the middle. It's caught at the 40-yard line, 45. He'll be tackled at the 50-yard line. That's Jalen Jones on that reception again. And that's a first down at the 50-yard line. Beautiful play, 23 yards on the pass and catch and run from Jack Dawson to Jalen Jones. So the Vikings with a new first down at the midfield stripe, leading 13-7. The chains have been reset. The clock is rolling. 12 seconds to go in the quarter, and it looks like we're probably going to see time expire before the ball is snapped to end the quarter. And that's going to end the first quarter with the score: Lamar 13, Midland Lee 7. We'll be back after I give you this announcement from the University Interscholastic League.
Sponsors. Without the generous support of these sponsors, many UIL activities would not be possible. The UIL gives special thanks to the Army National Guard, Baden, Balfour, Baylor Scott and White, Dairy Max, Dairy Queen, Ford, Fox Sports Southwest, Gatorade, Hellas Construction, Max Preps, the NFHS Network, Nike, Register My Athlete, Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, and Tick-A-Tap Ticketing. These generous corporate sponsors support the UIL in all its activities: music, academics, and athletics. The UIL appreciates these sponsors and their participation in all that the UIL does in Texas extracurricular activities. On behalf of the UIL and its corporate sponsors...
And now back to live action in the game at the 50-yard line. 1st and 10. Dawson steps back, fake handoff to Desmond Moultrie, and then he throws incomplete to this sideline, and that's going to bring up 2nd down and 10 at the 50-yard line. So trying a little bit of a misdirection play possibly there, try to confuse the defense. Unfortunately, the ball sailed out of bounds. Here's a snap. Dawson steps back. He's looking right. Screen pass to Desmond Moultrie, but it's dropped in the backfield at their own 45-yard line, so that'll be an incomplete pass. He didn't have far to go. If he had caught that ball, there was quite a few Midland Lee Rebel defenders over on the far edge of the field. So it'll bring up 3rd down and 10 for the Vikings at the 50-yard line. Here's a snap. Dawson steps back, throws downfield toward Trayvon West. There was some contact, but the officials kind of look at each other. It's going to be an incomplete pass. No flag thrown. And that's probably accurately a good no call. Trayvon West was the intended receiver down at about the 25-yard line. That'll bring up 4th and 10 now. Dayton Dubs is out to punt. The Lee Rebels have one man deep back at about the 7 or 8 yard line. That's going to be number 3, Grant Brown is deep. Dubs gets the kick. It bounces at the 18, takes a Viking bounce. It rolls to the 15, and that's where it's going to be downed at about the 15-yard line. Jordan Polk, along with a couple other Vikings, getting down there quickly to make sure that ball stops. So the Lee Rebels are going to start 1st and 10 at their own 16-yard line. So on 3 possessions so far, the Vikings have scored 2 touchdowns, missed one of the extra points. That's how they have 13 points, and then had to punt on this last series. This will be the 3rd possession for the Lee Rebels. They turned the ball over on downs, I believe it was on their first. We were taking care of technical difficulties. Then they punted, and now this will be their 3rd possession, starting 1st and 10 at their own 16-yard line. As a handoff up the middle to the left side, he's going to be stopped at about the 20-yard line. So 4-yard gain brings up 2nd down and 6 for the Rebels at their own 20. Here's a snap, the pass over to the flat. He's across the 20, 25, 30, 35. He's finally brought out of bounds by number 3, Red Huggins. It looks like at about the 43-yard line, still inside Rebel territory. So that's going to bring up a 1st and 10 now for the Rebels at their own 43-yard line. It's a little screen pass in the backfield. Here's the next play. It's caught by number 3, Grant Brown. He's across the 45 to the 50 into Viking territory. He's going to get out of bounds at the 49-yard line, short of a 1st down. There's a penalty flag across the field. We'll see what that is. So that was 1st and 10 from their own 43. They got to the 49 of Lamar, but there's a penalty flag. Illegal substitution against the defense. That'll be Lamar. So that'll be 10 yards, I believe. So they'll take the penalty instead of the 9-yard gain on the pass. No, actually, it's a 5-yard penalty. So they're going to have 1st and 5 instead of 2nd and 2. So now 1st and 5 at their own 48-yard line. Here's the snap. It's a handoff up the middle over the right side. He's got a seam. He's across midfield, 45, 40, 30. And he finally gets taken out of bounds by Douglas. That'll be James Douglas, saves the touchdown there. The ball carrier was number 22, Josh Traylor, one of their leading rushers. That'll be a 1st and 10 for Lee at the Viking 20-yard line. Run up the middle, and that's going to be met by a whole bunch of Vikings at the 16-yard line, so a 4-yard gain. Brings up 2nd down and 6 for the Rebels at the Viking 16-yard line. They're making a late substitution onto the field. They've got twin receivers left, one right. Still 14 seconds on the play clock. Now everyone's set. Got one in the backfield with the quarterback. There's some movement on the offensive line, illegal procedure. The receiver on this far side jumped the gun, and that caused the tight end to jump the gun. So that'll be a 5-yard penalty against the Lee Rebels. Puts the ball back at the 21-yard line. So now instead of 2nd and 6, they've got 2nd and 11. Trying to get to the 10-yard line for a 1st down in Viking territory. Twin receivers left, single right. Now there's a man in motion. Quarterback steps back. He looks. He throws to the corner of the end zone, and it's a touchdown for the Rebels from the quarterback standard to number 88, Loic Fonji. I'm probably going to not quite get that name correct. So now momentarily the score is tied 13-13 with 9:58 to go in the 2nd quarter. Waiting for this point after. Remember, the Vikings missed their first point after on their first touchdown. We'll see if that proves costly as the game moves along. Here's the kick. It's up, and it is good. So now Lee takes their first lead of the game, 14-13, with 9:58 to go in the 1st quarter. So each team has had the ball now 3 times. Each team has scored 2 touchdowns, and each team has had to give it up once. That previous drive covered about 84 yards. I believe it started back at the 16-yard line. I want to thank everyone who's able to tune in and listen to this broadcast. Sorry about the technical difficulties in the first part of the first quarter, but we've got you caught up now. Again, the score, Lee 14, Lamar 13, 9:58 to go in the second quarter. Lee is about to kick off to Lamar, left to right, if you're kind of looking at your computer screen or smartphone as what it would be the playing field. And here comes the kick. It's up. It's coming toward the end zone on this side. It's going to bounce in the end zone for a touchback. So Lamar will start this drive 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. And it's interesting here with this bowl kind of configuration. The winds are mainly from the east to the west. They're kind of swirling in the middle of the field. Some of the flags at the south end zone up above the playing field level are showing more of a north to south wind, but the flags in and around the stands are indicating more of an east to west wind. So both teams back out ready for this series of downs. The Lamar again starting 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Twin receivers right, one left, one in the backfield. It's going to be a handoff to Michael Bradley. He goes to the far edge. He strings it out, and he's going to get caught behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of about 2 yards. Let's see where they actually spot it. So it's going to be a 2-yard loss on the run by Michael Bradley. That'll bring up 2nd down and 12 for the Vikings at their own 23-yard line. 9:30 to go, clock rolling in the first quarter. Twin receivers right, one left, one in the backfield. Now man in motion. Jalen Jones comes this way. Dawson steps back to throw. Throws it this way. It's just short of the intended receiver, Jalen Jones. That'll be incomplete. And that's going to bring up 3rd down and 12 for the Vikings. And this is a place that Coach DeLay says he doesn't like to be playing from, is behind the chains. So hopefully we've got a good 3rd and 12 play drawn up here at our own 23-yard line. Here's the snap. Dawson steps back. He's looking for a receiver. He's going deep over down the middle of the field, and it's batted away. It was intended for Dayton Dubs, and that's going to be incomplete and bring up 4th and 12. And now the Vikings are going to be punting from deep in their own territory. So an unsuccessful drive on their 4th possession by the Vikings brings up a punting situation. Lee has one man deep at the 33-yard line in their own territory. Oh, there's a snap, and that's going to be offsides against the Lee Rebels. And it's hard to tell if they blew that dead on the flag or not. The punt did get away, so it's a little confusing to say if they let that play go or not. They may have blown it dead with the offsides. Lamar did go ahead and follow through as if it were a real play. Okay, so they didn't blow it dead. The offsides penalty is declined by Lamar. And now Lee is going to start this drive at their own 29-yard line, 1st and 10 after that punt. So a 50-something yard punt there by Dayton Dubs will put the Rebels back at their own 34-yard line, 1st and 10. Again, If you're just joining us, I'm a one-man crew. I don't have spotters with me, so I'm going to do my best to keep you up to date with at least the movement of the ball on offense. I'll give you as many names and numbers as we can, but I'll keep you updated as to what's going on in the game. Typically, we've got two people with headsets on. Oftentimes, it's my brother-in-law, Joe Toronto, sometimes Ryan DeMarteler. We usually have one or two statisticians and spotters, but it's me by myself today, but I'm going to bring you the best coverage I can. Lee comes out, twin receivers right, one left, one in the backfield. Here's a snap. It's going to be up the middle, handoff. He's going to be almost tackled, but he squeezes away from it, squirts out of that. He gets back around to the 31-yard line. So he was almost stopped at the 31-yard line. Then he squeezed out of what was kind of like a scrum in the middle of the field, came around to this side, and he's going to be at the 32-yard line. So a 3-yard gain brings up 2nd down and 7 for the Rebels at their own 32. Now they've got two receivers far to the left, one on this side. The ball on the close hash mark. One in the backfield with the quarterback standard. It's a snap. It's fake handoff. He's looking for a receiver. He's got no one to throw to. Now he does have a receiver at the 50-yard line. He catches that ball and is tackled by Khalifa Gar. So Khalifa Gar was there. The quarterback saw a receiver just in time before he was going to get hit in the backfield. And so now it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Rebels at the 50-yard line. Here's a little screen pass out to the 50, to the 40, 30, 20. He's being chased down, and he's going to score. And now the Rebels have scored on 2 consecutive possessions. Now, in case you're listening and having trouble hearing, I've gotten some messages from my brother-in-law, Mel Skaggs. If you're listening on LamarNation.com and you're having a hard time hearing it, go to LamarVikings.com and try that link, and apparently the volume is better over there. On the extra point, the kick is up and it's good, and it's now 21-13 in favor of the Rebels with 7:55 to go in the second quarter. So a big offensive explosion by both teams so far here in this game. Again, coming to you live from Grande Communication Stadium in Midland, Texas. The Midland Lee Rebels hosting the Lamar Vikings in the second round of the playoffs. There's an emblem of the state of Texas with a big kind of bluish, I'm a little bit colorblind, I'll say it's blue. It's for the soccer midfield circle, kind of a dot in the middle of the field with a Texas emblem in the middle of it across the 50-yard line, going from about the 43 to the 43. Again, a beautiful day here in Midland. The teams are getting ready for the next kickoff. And here it comes. The kick is up in the air. It's going to be into the end zone again for another touchback. In fact, that one goes out of the end zone. That strong kind of northeasterly wind helping that ball sail through the sky a little bit. So the Vikings are going to have another possession starting at their own 25-yard line, 1st and 10. 7 minutes, 55 seconds to go in the second quarter. The Vikings trailing 21-13 to the Lee Rebels. All right, trips left, single right, now 2 to the right. Dawson steps back, throws quickly across over to the 30-yard line. Is caught 35-40, and he'll be tackled down at the 42-yard line. That's Jalen Jones. So on 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line, Jalen Jones comes on a crossing pattern, catches it, makes a few more yards on the run. 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line. So 18 yards on that passing play, Dawson to Jalen Jones. Trips left, 2 right, empty backfield. Dawson takes a snap. Looks around. Straight down the middle is caught at the 48-yard line in Midland Lee territory. And he's going to make his way to the 45. So that's a 12-yard gain and another first down for the Vikings. Again, Jalen Jones on that reception. So 2 quick passes. And now the Vikings have the ball 1st and 10 at the Lee Rebel 45-yard line. 7:15 to go here in the second quarter. Trips right, Twins left, empty backfield. Dawson takes a snap, throws this side, complete to Dayton Dubs at the 40. He'll turn and he's going to make it to the 43-yard line, it looks like. That's going to be a 7-yard gain, bring up second down and 3 for the Vikings at the Midland Lee 30. Well, between the 37 and 38-yard line. So it's going to be second down and about 2.5. Let's call it a short 3. Dawson steps back. He's got some time. Throws across the middle. Oh, it's in and out of the hands of Matthew Shaw. Don't know if he heard footsteps. He had some double coverage right around him. Ball thrown right in the breadbasket. Can't make the catch. That'll bring up third down and the short 3. Again, the ball at the just inside the 38-yard line of the Lee Rebels, trying to get to the 35 for the first down. Trips right, Twins left, empty backfield again. Now Dawson steps up, calls out some new signals at the line of scrimmage, steps back in the shotgun again. Still no one in the backfield, takes a snap. He throws to this side, it's caught at the 35-yard line for the first down. That's going to be Jalen Jones catching that ball. That's his 3rd reception of this drive. And the 3rd first down of this drive for Jalen Jones on the passing from Jack Dawson. Now, if you remember, Jack Dawson had suffered a kind of a minor ankle tweak or injury last week during the playoff game against Haltom. Missed the second half. Caden Hadawi came in, but he's looking 100% out there today. Having a great game so far. 6 minutes to go in the second quarter. It's a pass complete to Dayton Dubs. He'll get across the 30-yard line to about the 28-yard line. So that's going to be a 5-yard gain. Bring up second down and 5. So now he's up to the 26-yard line, it looks like. See, they've got officials at different spots, and now it looks like there was possibly an injured player. Trainers came out on the field, and it was Dayton Dubs that they were concerned about, number 10, but he got up on his own power, and he's leaving on his own power. Looks like he took an extra moment to get up. So the ball is spotted at the 27-yard line, and that's going to bring up second down and 4. Vikings need to get to the 18-yard line, the 23-yard line. And the clock rolling again, 5:47 to go in the second quarter. The Vikings trail 21-13, but they're threatening here. Second down and 4 at the Lee Rebel 27-yard line. Dawson steps back. He's thrown across the middle. It's complete. It's Matthew Shaw inside the 5-yard line. First and goal for the Vikings at the 3. Beautiful pass. There was plenty of traffic there, but that ball placed perfectly by Jack Dawson. Matthew Shaw had very good focus, and he caught that ball, immediately tackled, but it's first and goal for the Vikings at the 3-yard line. So this drive is pretty much all passing plays for the Vikings. They've gone with an empty set every time, and it's been successful. And I think the Lee Rebels are just having a hard time knowing which of these great receivers Dawson's going to go to. Now he's got Michael Bradley in the backfield with him. Dawson keeps it, rolls right. He's got some room. He's across the 5. He's in the end zone. Touchdown, Vikings. So a 3-yard run by Jack Dawson will give the lead back to, it's not going to give us a lead. I'm sorry, I jumped the gun. It's 21-19. You can remember, we missed the extra point on the first touchdown scored in the first quarter. The Vikings going for the conventional single point after, not getting too concerned about making up that point yet. That's the pure coaching theory. Juan Villegas is out there to try the extra point. Cade Tresh, the deep snapper. Dawson to hold. The snap, the kick is up. Oh, and it bounces off the goalpost. Now, something wasn't right. I don't know if someone got their hand on it. It looked like number 12, I believe, for the Rebels may have gotten a piece of that ball because it had a weird trajectory as it went up. Bounces off the right goalpost, and so that extra point is no good. And so now the score is Lee 21, Lamar 19, even though both teams have scored 3 touchdowns. The 2 missed extra points proving costly so far for the Vikings. But what a drive. All passing plays until the end when Jack Dawson, the quarterback keeper, 3 yards on the run for the touchdown. Well, this game is living up to the expectations. I think a lot of people expected either a closely matched game or maybe some people I think were expecting a little bit of an edge just because of the size and speed of some of these Midland Lee Rebel players. But right now it's a evenly matched game, each team scoring 3 touchdowns, but the Vikings trailing by 2 because of 2 missed extra points. Here's the kickoff. It's a little bit of a pooch kick. It's going to be fielded at the 25-yard line. Now he's running backwards to the 20. He looked like he was trying to give it to someone else. So he had that ball at the 30-yard line, went backwards, and he's going to be tackled at the 26-yard line. Caden Hadawi is in there on that tackle, along with Douglas. And I think I might have seen Red Huggins in there also. So minus 4 yards on that return for the Rebels, and they'll start 1st and 10 at their own 26-yard line. Now the Rebels come out with an empty set. Trips right, Twins left. They're going to go passing, it looks like. Now man in motion. Quarterback keeper up the middle. He gets across the 30 out to about the 35-yard line. So he's going to pick up about 9 yards before he stopped. Interesting play. It definitely looked like it was going to be a passing play with 5 receivers spread out. But it was a quarterback draw designed all the way from the get-go. 2nd and 1 for the Rebels. Man in motion comes across. Screen pass across to the far sideline. It'll be caught at the 35-yard line, and he'll have just enough for the 1st down as he falls forward on the tackle to the 36. So exactly 1 yard gained is what they needed. 1st and 10 at the 36-yard line for the Rebels. Now they're going to come out with Twins right, single left, man in motion. It's going to be a handoff up the middle across the 40, 45. He's still on his feet, 50. He breaks away, 40 into Viking territory. He'll be run out of bounds. And now a very unwise thing done by James Douglas. The runner, number 22, had gotten out of bounds. That's Josh Traylor, one of their leading rushers. He was out of bounds, and James Douglas hit him well out of bounds, and that's going to draw the personal foul, late hit penalty, and that's going to be costly for the Vikings as that'll tack on some extra yardage. So they're going to mark that off from the 27-yard line. It'll be a half the distance to the 14, so that'll be 1st and 10 now for the Lee Rebels in Viking territory at the 14. Twin receivers left, 1 right, a man in motion. It's going to be a handoff up the middle. He's going to get to the 10-yard line before he's tackled. Looks like Josiah Mercado in there along with a few other Vikings on that tackle. That's going to be a 3-yard gain to the 11. So 2nd down and 7. Now it's going to be a run play up the middle again, a handoff. Notice the quarterback keeper. He's going to get to inside the 8-yard line, about 3.5 yards shy of the 1st down. So that's going to bring up 3rd down, and we'll call it a long 3. The ball just between the 7 and 8 yard line. They need to get to the 4 for a first down. Come up to the line of scrimmage. Twins left, full backfield. Handoff up the middle to the right side. He's going to get inside the 5. He'll get the first and goal. And let's see where they mark him down. Looks like at about the 3 yard line. So first and goal at the 3 for the Rebels. Very explosive offensive outputs by both teams so far in this game. 2:28 to go in the second quarter. It's a quarterback keeper up the middle. He's pushing and pushing. And they're going to say he stopped just before the goal line. And that's going to be kind of at the 1 foot line. Javante Kemp was in there in the middle, helping with that stop among some others. So second and goal from about the 1 foot line. And we'll see what kind of goal line stand the Vikings can provide here to try to keep the Rebels out of the end zone. Twin receivers left. One next to the quarterback. Kind of a mishandled snap. It's a quarterback keeper. He'll be stopped for a loss. So he's denied access to the end zone. They're marking the ball down at the 2 yard line. So loss of about 1.5 yards brings up third and goal at the 2. So far, once the Rebels got inside the 5 with goal-to-go situations, 2 downs in a row, they've denied them, actually pushed them back on the last one. Here's the snap. It's a handoff. Nope. Quarterback keeps it. It's intercepted at the 2 yard line. Cade Tresh, he's at the 20, 25, 30. There's a flag. He's still on his feet, but this will be coming back. But Cade Tresh is going to go all the way, it looks like, to the end zone. But that's not going to be a pick 6. But what a play. The quarterback had faked a handoff, then he threw it right down the middle, but Cade Tresh picked it at about the 2 or 3 yard line. So let's see, there's about 3 or 4 flags on the field now that I can see everyone cleared out. Now let's see if there was anything like pushing off or if everything was after the interception on the return. But wow, what a heads-up play by Cade Tresh, who's a little bit winded on the far sideline after he didn't quite sprint the whole way. He did slow down when he thought the play might have been over, but he did get into the end zone. Of course, it won't count. And now we're waiting on the signal by the head referee. There's an illegal block below the waist on Lamar, but it's the intercepting team. And then there was another penalty. I didn't catch what they said. Must have been a dead ball against number 9. So we have 2 half the distance to the goal penalties against Lamar, but it is the Vikings football, 1st and 10. The ball is spotted at their own 2 yard line. So credit Cade Tresh with the incredible interception that saved a touchdown, because the Lee Rebels were threatening again. 3rd and goal at the 3. Well, the Vikings will come back pinned deep, but they didn't let the Lee Rebels in the end zone. 1st and 10 at their own 2. Now they've got twin receivers left, 1 right. Jalen Jones is in the backfield. Now Dawson is signaling over to the sideline. He needs a new play or some new players. Now there's confusion among the Vikings. They almost send 2 players out. Now Caden Hadawi comes out in a slot pattern. Okay, the play clock is now down to 12. Lamar calls a timeout, and wisely so. There was not a clear understanding, I don't think, from anyone really what was supposed to happen on this play. They were late getting an extra player out. Michael Bradley and Caden Hadawi both came onto the field, started to. Michael Bradley got called back. Hadawi went into a slot receiver position. Then they were trying to change the play again, it looked like. The play clock was down to about 11 seconds. Then Lamar calls a timeout, and probably wisely so. pinned deep at their own 2-yard line. You'd hate to have a disastrous kind of miscommunication or something in that situation. But again, thank you, Cade Tresh, the senior out of for Lamar. Intercepted that ball at the goal line. And then 2 penalties on that play. Puts it first and 10 for the Vikings at their own 2. Everyone's back out now after the timeout. Lamar has one in the backfield with Dawson. It's going to be a handoff up the middle across the 5 to the 10, still on his feet. It's Michael Bradley twisting and turning. First down, he's still on his feet. He's going to spin out to the 17-yard line. So a 15-yard run with a second, third, and maybe even a fourth effort there by Bradley gets the Vikings out of their own 2-yard line to the 17-yard line. Excellent blocking by the line, including Connor Lowen, the center, and I'll try to get some other names here in a moment because they need the credit also. Bradley again on a handoff to the right side, 20, out to the 25. He drags a player with him, and he's going to have close to first down yardage. It looked like he was hit out of bounds, but no flag is thrown, and some of the Viking fans and players may have been wanting that call, but I think everything was pretty much clean and that the defender was already on his way. And so timeout is called by the Vikings now. And looking across the field, it looks like it's going to be a 2nd down and 1. So that was a 9-yard run by Michael Bradley to the right-hand side after the 15-yard run. So 24 yards on these last 2 carries by Michael Bradley. So interesting situation. The previous scoring drive for the Vikings was all passing plays, and now they've had success on the ground with Michael Bradley, 24 yards and 2 carries. 2nd down and 1 at their own 29-yard line. There's only 25 seconds to play in the second quarter. The Vikings still have 1 timeout left. Might expect to see some attempt down the field. Let's see what the strategy here is. Twins left, single right. 1 in the backfield next to Dawson to his left. The ball is on the right hash mark. Here's a snap. It's a handoff to Jalen Jones coming across. He's at the 30, and he makes the cut around the edge. He slips. He'll have a first down at the 33-yard line. So a 7-yard gain by Jalen Jones brings up 1st and 10. The clock will stop to set the chains. Now it's rolling again. 13 seconds to go. Looking to get a play called in from the sideline. No timeouts being called. 6 seconds to go. 5. And now they're going to just, the clock's going to expire. Well, that's going to be the end of the second quarter. And a very exciting, fun game out here in Midland. The Midland Lee Rebels 21, Lamar Vikings 19 at the half. I want to remind you that the University Interscholastic League, the UIL, is the governing body for public school activities in Texas. And they want to make sure you don't miss the UIL Football State Championships on December 14th through the 17th at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Tickets are available to purchase now through Ticketmaster. For more information, visit uiltexas.org. That is a fun 4 days of action-packed football at the AT&T Stadium in Arlington, just down the street from Arlington Lamar High School. All of the state championship games in all divisions, and you can see a lot of fun activity going early and staying for multiple games through the day. Well, it's halftime. I'm going to step aside for a few moments. I'm going to turn up the ambient outside mic so you can hear some marching band activity. And if I have the chance, I'm going to turn the camera that way also. It's been on the scoreboard. We just have an agreement with UIL. We won't be showing any of the game activity. Once again, Bill Frawley bringing you the action. Jay Ryan is our producer back in Arlington. This is Lamar Viking Varsity Football, brought to you by the Lamar Viking Football Booster Club.
Welcome, Morgan, for your halftime entertainment. The grand champion Lamar Vikings under the direction of Miss Lori Woods. The Vikings are sponsored by 3DI Sign and Design, Allstate agent Javier Nakera, Paul and Tony Folks, Men on a Mission, and La Quinta. The Viking of the Week is Cassandra Noyola, and the Spirit Girl of the Week is Lakeisha West. The Educator of the Week is Miss Parrott. The Social Committee President is Itzayana Nakera, Vice President Michaela Graham, Secretary and Historian Sophia Hernandez, and Spirit Leader Maitana Nakara. The Viking officers are Lieutenant Jaden Beckworth, Lieutenant Kelly Walker, First Lieutenant Lori Wiggins, and Captain Tiffany Owens. The Lamar Vikings are starting the Radio City Inspired Christmas Spectacular at Arlington Music Hall. Use promo code LHS and purchase tickets, and a portion of the ticket sales will benefit our very own Vikings. And now sit back and enjoy your Lamar Vikings.
Only got 10 minutes.
The Lamar Marching Band is led on the field by head drum major Brooke Fitzgerald and assistant drum majors Chappelle Johnson and Chloe Holland. Today the Lamar Band will perform the 2017 Spirit Show. The member of the week is Ashley Van Zant. And now the pride of Lamar and the Lamar Vikings. choreographer Misty Ray, the 2017-2018 Dixie Dolls Drill Team. The Dolls took home their second consecutive Grand Champion trophy from the Showtime International Dance Company. They swept the competition, winning first place in every category entered. They were invited for a second year in a row to perform at the Nathan's Thanksgiving Day Parade in New York. After attending camp, the Dolls also received an invitation to perform in Hawaii. The Dolls will be competing at the national level in Orlando this spring. Go Dolls! Officers this year include Senior Captain Chloe Aguilar, Senior Lieutenant Carissa Rubio, Senior Lieutenant Adriana Ruiz, Junior Lieutenant Chelsea Lyles, Junior Lieutenant Maria Serrano, Junior Lieutenant Jamie Valdez, and the Dixie Dolls of the Week are Jada Lang, Adriana Romo, and Esmeralda Aceves. The Dolls will now perform their routine to What I Like About You. Good afternoon, football fans. Please help me welcome to the field the 57th version of the Pride of West Texas, the Mighty Rebel Marching Band, as they enter the field performing the traditional March Grandioso. This afternoon we will be featuring the Rebel Color Guard to the classic rock tune, Proud Mary. fight song on Rebels.
Welcome back to the broadcast here. It's halftime at the Midland Lee Lamar Viking football game, playoff round 2. The halftime score is Midland Lee Rebels 21, Lamar Vikings 19. It's been quite the offensive show, a couple of good defensive stands, but one of the big standout plays so far of the game, Cade Tresh with an interception at the goal line to prevent Midland Lee from scoring their fourth, what would have been their fourth touchdown of the half, and taking a bigger lead probably into halftime. The Vikings ended up having the ball 1st and 10 at their own 2-yard line after a couple of penalties on that play, and then they moved the ball out to somewhere around the 30-yard line, and then time expired in the half. So the way that the Vikings have 19 points, 3 touchdowns, the extra point on the first touchdown was no good. Then it was partially blocked, I believe, on the third touchdown. So we've only converted one of our extra points, trailing now by 2 points. I've got a couple of audio promos I need to play for the University Interscholastic League. We want to thank the UIL one more time for granting us permission to do this audio broadcast. And then I'll be right back.
We are the UIL.
From the coaches
To the players. To the educators.
we've been in your shoes.
Extracurricular activities are essential to the development of our youth.
From proposed rule changes
To the relaxation of transfer rules. We keep it fair.
new academic contests, we hear you loud and clear.
New events are music to our ears. We just added film. That's a wrap.
Educational activities help young people become productive citizens.
From staph infections to steroid use to cardiac and concussions. Health and safety is a priority.
Heat, heart, and health history.
From heat-related illness to head injuries to heart-related issues to the medical history of students. Your well-being is our priority because we are the UIL.
We are the UIL.
We are the UIL. University Interscholastic League would like to thank its corporate sponsors. Without the generous support of these sponsors, many UIL activities would not be possible. The UIL gives special thanks to the Army National Guard, Baden, Balfour, Baylor Scott and White, Dairy Max, Dairy Queen, Ford, Fox Sports Southwest, Gatorade, Hellas Construction, Max Preps, the NFHS Network, Nike, Register My Athlete, Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, and Tick-A-Tap Ticketing. These generous corporate sponsors support the UIL in all its activities, music, academics, and athletics. The UIL appreciates these sponsors and their participation in all that the UIL does in Texas extracurricular activities. On behalf of the UIL and its corporate sponsors, thank you for supporting UIL activities in your community, and thank you for listening to this state playoff contest. Enjoy the game.
And speaking of the UIL, the University Interscholastic League, I want to remind you that you should not miss out on the UIL Football State Championships on December 14th through the 17th at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, especially if you are one of our local Arlington Lamar listeners. It's a great way to enjoy a lot of football in just a few days. It's all the championship games. Tickets are available to purchase now through Ticketmaster. For more information, visit uiltexas.org. Hey, I also want to take a chance to thank the Midland Independent School District, who is running this game today, and the City of Midland, which I believe owns Grande Communication Stadium. The MISD has been very gracious in their hospitality to provide us with a first-class radio booth to do this broadcast from. Teresa Garcia is our staff contact here with MISD, and she has been great to work with during the week before the game, making all the arrangements, and then here to welcome us and get everything set up. Also, Raymond, and I didn't get his last name, but Raymond up here has also been an excellent source of help in getting everything set up for our broadcast. Once again, I want to thank the Midland Independent School District and Grande Communication Stadium for their incredible hospitality to get us set up in a radio booth to do this. They have also had some hot dogs and popcorn and water and sodas set out, anything we would need to enjoy our time here. Well, we're just a couple of minutes away from the teams returning to the field. The Vikings and the Lee Rebels both have their big inflatable tunnels set up at the north end zone. The Vikings are out in front of theirs right now, but they're about to go back and come around to officially enter the field through it. Lee Rebels have their drill team lining the path out of their tunnel, waiting to enter the field. Again, the score, Lee Rebels 21, Lamar Vikings 19. We're just about to get underway here. Now, I just got a message from our producer, Jay Ryan, back in the Metroplex. Euless Trinity has defeated Duncanville, so the winner of this game will play Trinity, the Trinity Trojans, next weekend in the third round of the playoffs. Hopefully for all of our Viking fans, that'll be the Lamar Vikings. Also want to say good luck to the Arlington Colts. They're going to be playing at 4 o'clock in just about a half hour, about 15 miles down the road over in Odessa at the famed Ratliff Stadium, the home of the Friday Night Lights movie and the book. They're going to be taking on, I believe, El Paso Coronado at 4 o'clock. Then also from our district yesterday in Arlington, Arlington Martin beat Odessa Permian 41-10 in a second-round playoff game. So congratulations to the Martin Warriors. And then Mansfield defeated the San Angelo Central Bobcats yesterday evening in Mansfield. And now the players are returning to the field. Pretty much both teams at the same time entered the field. Sometimes you'll see it where it's one then the other. That's all right. There's nothing wrong with that. Each down their own sideline. Got the cheerleaders here, the band, Thor Corps, the Stuco. I'm going to try to get something here with their names on it to call out some of these folks. Thor Corps, and I know not all of them were able to be here, but as many as possible. But Thor Corps is made up of Michael Wynn, who is Thor, Kate Hopkins, Cameron Cooner, Dan Din, Alejandro Omana, Ian Loper, Parker Scott, Clay Pilot, Summer Rigdon, Evan Weems, Cale Sherrod, Jose Gutierrez, and Nicole Jackson. Well, Lamar did get to receive the opening kickoff. Lee had won the coin toss, and so they chose to defer, and they're going to receive the second half kickoff. So the Vikings will do that kicking. The Midland Lee will be defending the north end zone. So they'll be moving left to right across the field. And Lamar here in the third quarter will be moving right to left defending the south end zone. All right, the ball's on the tee. Everyone's ready. Juan Villegas set to do the kicking. And the ball is up in the air. It's a shallow kick. It's going to be fielded at the 19-yard line. Then it's a handoff, kind of a reverse to number 3. He's going to get across the 20 to about the 24-yard line. So number 3, Grant Brown, was the one that eventually took the ball. I believe it was number 19, Carl Taylor, who fielded the kickoff and handed it off to Brown. Return of about 3 or 4 yards. So the Lee Rebels will set up shop, 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line. For the Vikings up front, it looks like there's Josiah Mercado, Javante Kemp, and Bobby Brown. Deshaun Gaddy is over here on this edge of the field. Twin receivers right, single left. There's a snap. It's a handoff up the middle, across the 25-30. A big run up to about the 32-yard line. So about an 8-yard gain will bring up 2nd down and 2 for the Rebels at their own 32-yard line. One of the players, number 22 for the Rebels, Josh Traylor, comes limping off the field just a little bit. Play clock down to 14 seconds. The Rebels still trying to get their play in. They've got twin receivers right, 1 left. 2 in the backfield with the quarterback. Now one of those in motion to this side. And now there's a penalty flag. It looks like someone on the line of scrimmage for Lee moved. So that's a false start penalty. That'll cost them 5 yards. So instead of 2nd down and 2, they're going to now have 2nd down and 7. Their yard to make for the 1st down will be the 34-yard line. That's where they're trying to get. Ball is at the 27-yard line. Here's a snap. It's up the middle on the quarterback keeper. He's around the far edge. He'll have the 1st down across the 35-yard line. So Colby Standard takes the ball himself around the far side. He'll have 1st down and 10 for the Rebels at their own 38-yard line. Here's a snap. It's a screen pass to this side in the backfield. He's across the 40. He's going to be, oh, wow, he got hit twice. Red Huggins had him wrapped up at the ankle, and it looks like number 9, Jordan Mercado, came and finished him off. Caden Hidawi was also over there ready to help defend, along with Deshaun Gaddy. A little bit of a sigh from the crowd, because he was wrapped up at the ankle on first contact, and then the second player came in and finished him off. Got twisted up a little bit. 2nd down and about 6 at their own 42-yard line. Here's a snap. Handoff straight up the middle. He's going to get across the 45 to the 46-yard line. In on that stop is number 9, Jordan Mercado. That's going to bring up 3rd down and 2. 46-yard line, trying to get to the 48. Just underway here in the 3rd quarter. The Lee Rebels lead 21-19 over the Lamar Vikings. Now it looks like they're set with their play. They've got twin receivers to the left. Tight ends on both sides. One in the backfield with the quarterback. It's going to be a quarterback keeper over the left, or excuse me, the right tackle. He gets across the 50-yard line. He'll have a 1st down into Viking territory to about the 47-yard line. So Colby Standard, who again has passed for over 1,000 yards, rushed for over 1,000 yards this season, having some success here. 1st and 10 for the Rebels at the Viking 47-yard line. It's a zone read. It's a handoff to number 28. Goes around the far side across the 45-yard line. He's going to be tackled at about the 43-yard line. Looks like Cade Tresh, and then again Jordan Mercado helping on that tackle. That's going to be 2nd down and 5. Now it's a handoff over the right guard. He's going to get across the 40 to the 38. Then he's pushed backwards. Cade Tresh is in there helping. Jordan Mercado, Javante Kemp all in there. Also Josiah Mercado. So that up the middle, they collapsed the hole there. The Viking defense did. And now it's going to be 3rd down and a long one at the 38-yard line. Trying to get to the 37. Twins right, 2 tight ends. Quarterback keeper up the middle on the zone read. He's going to go all the way to the 15, 10, 5. And he is in for the touchdown. Jordan Polk was trying to pursue. He tackled him in the end zone. And so on the first possession of the second half, the Lee Rebels score a touchdown. Waiting for the point after, they lead 27-19. Wow, there was just a beautiful hole up the middle. And the extra point is up, and it is good. So with 8:46 to go in the third quarter, it's Lee 28, Lamar 19. Well, again, the offensive show here is the theme today, and that's how the second half starts off. The first possession of the half was from Midland Lee, and they take about 3 minutes and 14 seconds to drive down about 76 yards. That drive started at their own 24-yard line. Take the 28-19 lead. Now the Rebels are going to kick off. We've got Trayvon West, and it looks like Jalen Jones deep for the Vikings, each standing at about the 10-yard line. Jones on the far hash, or Jones on the close hash mark, Trayvon West on the far hash mark. The ball is on the tee. Once again, we are only able to do an audio webcast today. The UIL gave us permission for that, but not the video. Kick is up in the air. It's a line drive kick. It's going to go out of the end zone for a touchback. So Lamar will start this drive, 1st and 10, at their own 25-yard line. Again, moving right to left if you're looking at your computer screen or smartphone or whatever you're looking at while you're listening to the broadcast. Once again, a beautiful day. There's a time and temperature sign here at the south end zone of the stadium. It's now warmed up to 70 degrees. Very pretty sky, lots of sunshine. Winds are still coming pretty good across the field from east to west. One receiver right, 2 left. Here's a handoff to Michael Bradley across up the middle to the 30, 35, 37, 38-yard line. So Michael Bradley, this is how we started that last scoring drive of the second quarter. Michael Bradley, he goes up the middle, and he's going to get 14 yards and get out to the 39-yard line. So that'll be 1st and 10 for the Vikings as they're trying to move down the field and get another touchdown of their own. Twins left, single right. Bradley in the backfield. It's a handoff to Bradley. No, it's a pass to complete at the 45 to Matthew Shaw. He'll get to the 48-yard line. It looks like he's going to be a yard shy. It looks like that'll be a 9-yard gain. Now I think there's a penalty flag. The Vikings are moving backwards. There is a penalty flag back at the 41-yard line. I apologize, I missed the signal. I was looking at the wrong official. Looks like it's, it's going to move the ball 5 yards back. I think it might have been an illegal shift or motion. Regardless, it's a 5-yard penalty, so now it's 1st and 15 from our own 34-yard line for Lamar. Single left, single right. Matthew Shaw in motion. It's a handoff up the middle again to Bradley. He pushes his way for 5, 6, 7 yards. That last 2 yards, he was dragging one of the receivers with him. One of the defenders with him. So he'll get out almost to the 41-yard line, a gain of about, let's say, 6.5. So we're going to say this is 2nd down and a short 9. I'd rather say that than a long 8. It's right between the 39 and 40. The Vikings are trying to get to their own 49-yard line for the 1st down. Trips right, Twins left, empty backfield. Here's the snap. Dawson throws to his right. It's complete to the 45-yard line, but he falls to his knees immediately. That's Trayvon West that made that catch. The ball was thrown just a little bit short. He was actually able to catch it, which is good. That'll bring up 3rd down, and now we're going to say a long 4.5 yards to go for the first down. Again, the Vikings trying to get to their own 49-yard line, starting this play just inside their own 45. Trips left, single right. No one in the twins right. No one in the backfield. Dawson back, pumps, throws. He's got an open receiver. Oh, and it's in and out of the hands of Trayvon West. He was wide open, and he had 6 points if he had hung onto that ball. A well-placed pass by Jack Dawson, unfortunately dropped by Trayvon West, and that's going to bring up 4th down and 4. Wow, that was a golden opportunity for a big play and possibly a score for the Vikings, but unfortunately, it'll be 4th down and 4. So now Dayton Dubs comes out to do the punting. He's been the punter. He did convert on a fake punt back in the first quarter on a 4th and 1. I don't think we're going to see that here. I think they would be, the Lee Rebels are going to be extra vigilant watching for something like that. They have a 1-man deep back at the own 14-yard line. The punt is up. It's a line drive kick. It's a great punt. It's going to be fielded at 16. It's bobbled. He picks it back up. He's going this way to the 20, 25-yard line, and he'll be pushed out of bounds. Somewhere, we're going to have to find out. The players are blocking the view, but somewhere around the 30-yard line. So a pretty decent return after a great kick by Dayton Dubs. And the ball is spotted at the 30-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Rebels in their own territory. Well, a couple of good explosive plays running, and then that drop pass that could have possibly been a touchdown had the Vikings with some enthusiasm on offense. Now the defense is going to have to step up and try to make a stop here and keep this a 1-possession game with the 9-point margin. Single receiver far left. It's a handoff up the middle. He slips as he gets across the line of scrimmage. He'll be at the 34-yard line, so a 4-yard gain that time. Got Simone Foster up front now. Bobby Brown up there on the defensive line. Josiah Mercado. Deshaun Gaddy on this close side. Red Huggins in safety position on this side. Trying to call out the ones I can see easily. Here's a snap. It's a handoff up the middle to the left side. He's going to be tackled for a gain of about 3 yards to the 37-yard line. That's going to bring up 3rd down and 3 for the Rebels. So 2 running plays up the middle nets them a total of 7 yards, 3rd down and 3. The Vikings trying to keep this game within reach. It's a 9-point margin. The Rebels lead 28-19. They have the ball at their own 37-yard line, 3rd and 3. And now there's movement on the line, untimely for the Rebels. That's going to cost them 5 yards. So instead of 3rd and 3, they're going to now have 3rd and 8 after the illegal procedure call. At least one of their linemen jumped off sides or jumped early. Quarterback steps back. He's looking. He's got some pressure from Bobby Brown. He's got nowhere to go, and he'll be sacked. Now, the official tackle is going to be number 34, Josiah Mercado, but Bobby Brown was the one that had him scrambling back there, and that's a loss all the way back to the 21-yard line, and that's going to bring up 4th down and about 19 to go. I'll tell you what, if I'm a quarterback and I see that big Bobby Brown coming around looking like he's going to sack me, I'm going to change direction. I think I might take a dive also. Josiah Mercado was there to make sure that he didn't have anywhere else to go. Here's the punt. Oh, it's a short kick. It just pops straight up in the air, and it's going to go out of bounds inside Rebel territory. Let's see where they mark it. That ball was not kicked well at all, unfortunately, for the Rebels. It goes out of bounds at the 45-yard line inside Rebel territory. So now the Vikings get to take over in great field position, and it's actually going to be the 44-yard line. So they've traded punts, and in the exchange of the field position with the punting game, the Vikings pretty much come out ahead. They've moved the ball forward in the exchange of those two punts. 1st and 10 at the Lee 44-yard line. Trips right, Twins left, empty backfield for the Vikings. Dawson takes a snap, steps, throws immediately to the right flat. Caden Hadawi catches it, 45, 40, 35. He'll have a first down. Caden Hadawi catches that pass. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not a first down, my bad. It's a 9-yard gain. It was hard to see where he went out of bounds, so I apologize for that. But a 9-yard pass play from quarterback to sometimes another quarterback, sometimes a slot receiver, sometimes a linebacker, sometimes a punt and kickoff coach. That Caden Hadawi does it all for the Vikings. 2nd down and 1 at the 35-yard line in Lee territory. Trips left. It's a handoff up the middle, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. No one's going to stop him, and it's touchdown, Jalen Jones. Wow, a burst of offensive movement for the Vikings. Jalen Jones took that handoff. That offensive line broke a great hole for him, including Connor Lowen, and I'll try to get some other names. And then he was off to the races, and there was no one going to stop him. So beautiful run by Jalen Jones. They finally caught up with him in the end zone, but by then it was too late. So now it's 28-25. The Vikings going for 1 point here, trailing by 3. Here's a snap, the hold, kick is up, and it is good. So now it's 28-26. The margin back to 2 points now. And again, those 2 points are because of the 2 missed extra points earlier in the game.
Lamar 26.
Well, just what the Vikings needed to do to stay in this game and keep it tight and close and exciting. With 4:47 to go in the 3rd quarter, they trail 28-26. What a drive. It started off with some runs by Michael Bradley, and then it was the run by, not Michael Bradley, I'm sorry, that was the previous drive. The pass to Caden Hadawi from Jack Dawson for 9 yards, and then on 2nd and 1, Jalen Jones takes the handoff and goes 40 yards or so to the end zone. Makes it 28-26 in favor of the Lee Rebels. Lots of offense in this game today. Something that probably was expected by both teams and the fans of both teams. There's a little, again, the stutter step fake onside kick or fake quick kick. Now the Vikings come back, and everyone but the kicker on the 35-yard line. The ball on the tee at the 40. Vegas approaches the tee. It's a bit of a pooch kick. It's going to be fielded at the 18-yard line. It's fumbled, and his knee went down. This is great. He went backwards when he fumbled it. Then when his momentum trying to make a turn, his knee hit the ground back at the 10-yard line. We'll call it the 11 to see where they spot it. So, wow, on the muffed kick, and I'll tell you what, that little pooch kick may have caught him a little bit by surprise. Not one of the typical guys to do the kick returning. He wasn't the deep. He was about 5 or 7 yards in front of the deep backs. But he muffed that ball, went down to pick it up, and then he had to start going backwards with his momentum, and his knee hit the ground as he was trying to make the turn. So the Lee Rebels start 1st and 10 at their own 11-yard line. Twins left, Twins right, one in the backfield. It's a handoff around the far side. He's met immediately. Maybe a 1-yard gain. Josiah Mercado, number 13, Sam Townsend in there. James Douglas in the area. Several Vikings, and that's going to be no gain. 2nd down and 10 at the 11 for the Rebels. Let's see if the Viking defense can keep things going here. Here's a snap. It's a handoff again up the middle. This time he breaks through a hole. Caden Hadawi makes the tackle out at the 26-yard line. So that's going to be enough for a big first down for the Lee Rebels. And they're going to say it's at the 25-yard line. 1st and 10 for Lee at their own 25. Thanks for Caden Hadawi making that touchdown-saving tackle. It's the zone read. The quarterback keeps it. He's up the middle over the right guard. He's across the 30. And now it's their turn on the Lee Rebels side to have a big running game. He's out to the 33-yard line. That's going to bring up 2nd down and 2. Cade Tresh was in on that tackle among some others. Here's the next snap. Twins left, Twins right. Zone read. He's going to be caught in the backfield. The quarterback is Bobby Brown is in there among others. The ball's loose on the ground. The Vikings are saying they have it. Of course they do. Viking comes up. It is Viking football. Josiah Mercado. He recovers the fumble. Big turnover for the Vikings inside Lee territory. And the Vikings will have the ball again. 1st and 10 at about the 31-yard line. Let's see where they spot it. Wow, Bobby Brown came in to the backfield, hits him hard, and while he's being wrapped up, the ball comes loose, and Josiah Mercado pounced on it and smothered it. Viking football, 1st and 10 at the Lee 32-yard line. Big momentum change here for the Vikings as they try to get the lead here in the game. Twins right, single left. Oh, a bad snap over his head. Dawson picks it up. He throws, and it's going to be out of bounds. Wow. He really kind of made nothing out of something negative. A lot of times someone will say he made something out of nothing. That play had disaster written over it. The snap was just off to his left, back behind him. Dawson picked it up, and instead of having to go down and take a knee and take a loss on the play, was able to throw it out of bounds for an incomplete pass. It'll be 2nd down and 10 at the Lee 32-yard line. Now trips right, single left. Michael Bradley in the backfield just to the right of Jack Dawson. Here's a snap. Dawson looks to his right, throws. It's complete at the 26 to the 25. 1st down. It's Matthew Shaw on the completion to the 21-yard line. 11 yards on the game. 1st and 10 for the Vikings at the 21-yard line in Lee territory. 1 yard away from the red zone. Twins left, single right. It's going to be a handoff to Bradley. He's going to have nowhere to go as he tries to go over the right guard. Maybe gets a yard. 3 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. The Lee Rebels lead 28-26. This is quite the exciting game. It looks like it's going to be 2nd down and 10 at the 21-yard line. Twins left, single right. Bradley in the backfield. Dawson steps back. He's looking left. He's got some time now. Pressure. Now he throws to the end zone. And it's in and out of the hands of Jalen Jones. There were 2 receivers over in the far corner of the end zone. Jalen Jones was the one that was actually intended for. He got there first anyway. And just kind of threw his arms.
3rd down.
And that's going to bring up 3rd down and 10. All right, just to kind of keep you aware, the ball's at the 21-yard line. Should they have to go for a field goal at this spot, it would be a 38-yard attempt, which I believe is doable by Juan Villegas. But in the meantime, it's trips left, Twins right, empty backfield. Dawson takes a snap, steps back, he's rolling to his right, looks, he throws it across the middle, it's incomplete, just over the reach of Jalen Jones. He didn't have a chance to catch that one. It just sailed a little bit too high for him. So now it's 4th down and 10 for the Vikings at the Lee 21-yard line. The play clock at 32 seconds. So far, the kicking team has not come onto the field. So it looks like if it stays like it is now, the Vikings are going to go for this 4th and 10. Play clock is down to 17 seconds. 2:33 to go in the 3rd quarter. Trips left, Twins right. Everyone is on their feet here on the Midland Lee side in front of the press box. Dawson rolls. He's going to be... No, I thought he was going to be sacked. Now he is sacked. There was so much good coverage. He did, it look like, have possibly Dayton Dubs getting open in the end zone, but he was being chased so quickly he didn't have much time to look and find anything. So the ball's going to go over on downs. So after that fumble, unfortunately, the Vikings cannot capitalize on it. The ball's going to go over on downs, and Lee takes over at their own 29-yard line. So now once again, the Viking defense is going to have to step up and make a stop here as they trail 28-26 to the Lee Rebels. There's a few thousand, maybe several thousand fans here for the Lee Rebels. Couple hundred at least over across the way for the Vikings. Here's a snap. It's a screen pass in the backfield. He'll get to the 30, 35, Caden Hidali helps bring him down. First contact was by Jordan Mercado. Caden Hidali finished him off. That's going to be a 9-yard gain, 2nd down and 1 for the Rebels at their own 38. Quarterback keeper to the left side of the center. He'll get across the 45. He'll have a first down at the 47-yard line. And now trips right. It's a handoff up the middle. He's going to be strung out over to the left side a little bit. He'll get across midfield for a gain of about 4 yards. That play started at their own 47-yard line, gets to the Viking 49-yard line. 2nd down and 6 for the Rebels. They need to get to the Viking 44-yard line. Trips right, single left, one in the backfield with the quarterback, Colby Standard. It's going to be a quarterback draw up the middle. Douglas makes the first contact. He's slowed down. I don't think he's going to have the first down. He was tackled by a couple of other Vikings. In fact, Jordan Polk might have been in there also after Douglas made first contact in the backfield. And it is a yard short of the first down. Big third down here for the Viking defense. 3rd and 1 for the Rebels at the Viking 44-yard line. Twins right, 2 tight ends, one in the backfield with the quarterback. And now an untimely, another false start penalty for the Lee Rebels. So now instead of 3rd and 1, they've got 3rd and 6. The way these two offenses are going, still a very makeable play. Trips right, single left, one in backfield. Now he goes in motion. The quarterback steps back. He's got some pressure. He can't find a receiver, but it is caught now at the 40-yard line. Just enough for the first down plus 3 yards. Cade Tresh is there to stop him, but just as the quarterback, Standard, was looking like he was going to run out of time and possibly be sacked, he was getting some pressure. He spots the receiver over the middle for the first down and 10 at the 40-yard line inside Viking territory. And that's going to bring the third quarter to an end with the score, Lee 28, Lamar 26. Wow. Really, the story of the game is the offenses with a couple of key turnovers, both in favor of the Vikings. Cade Tresh intercepted the ball in the second quarter at the goal line as the Lee Rebels were about to score. And then there was a fumble on the punt return. Excuse me, not on the punt return. There's a fumble on a play after the punt return. And Josiah Mercado recovered that fumble. But unfortunately, the Vikings couldn't capitalize and score on that drive. And so they trail 28-26. Going into the fourth and final quarter here at Grande Communications Stadium in Midland, Texas. This round 2 playoff game. Again, brought to you by the Lamar Viking Football Booster Club under the agreement with the University Interscholastic League. And we again want to thank our host, the Midland Independent School District, and the Grande Communications Stadium for all of their hospitality and making sure that we were able to set up and do this broadcast. Jay Ryan, our producer, back at broadcast headquarters in Arlington, making sure everything gets going the right way technically. And I'm Bill Frawley, doing as much as I can single-handedly here in the broadcast booth to keep you up to date with the action. As play resumes to begin the fourth quarter, 1st and 10 for the Rebels at the Viking 40-yard line. Trips left, single right, one in the backfield. Here's a snap. Zone read. Quarterback keeps it. He makes it move. He gets across to the 35, now to the 30-yard line, and he's going to get across there for a first down. So about a 12-yard gain by Colby Standard. Again, not only a great passing quarterback, but he has over 1,000 yards rushing this season. So now it's going to be 1st down and 10 for the Rebels at the Viking 29-yard line. Here's a handoff straight up the middle. He makes it through the defensive line. He breaks out around to the edge, and he's going to get into the end zone. Touchdown, Rebels. I don't see a flag on the... Yes, there is a penalty flag actually at the 13 or 14-yard line. So this is probably coming back. Let's see. Everyone's moving back some. Illegal block in the back against the Lee Rebels. So maybe that's part of why the Vikings didn't have a chance to really stop him. I'll tell you, it was a great move, though, by the running back. He went straight up the middle, looked like he was going to be stopped, bounced back, moved to his right, found another seam, and squeezed into the end zone. But the illegal block in the back penalty from the spot of the foul is going to end up putting the ball back at the 24-yard line. And they'll repeat first down, so this it'll be 1st and 5 for the Rebels at the 24-yard line, trying to get to the 19 for a first down. Here's a snap. It's a handoff up the middle. Almost the same type of play. It was to number 29, Oscar Valadez, and he'll have the first down inside the 20-yard line to about the 17-yard line. And now Lee going quick tempo. Here's a snap. It's another handoff, and he's going to be wrapped up at the line of scrimmage this time. Bobby Brown, Sam Townsend there to make the stop. Number 58, Simone Foster, also there to help make sure he doesn't get anywhere. So no gain on that play. It's going to be 2nd down and 10 at the 17-yard line. So the Viking defense being tested here again in the red zone. Twins left, single right. One in the backfield, now one in motion. It's a quick throw to this flat. Number 3 catches it. He has nowhere to go. He's wrapped up. Sam Townsend makes the first contact, but Bobby Brown was there to make sure he didn't come back toward the center of the field. James Douglas is also there. And then Jordan Polk. So a good team effort with Sam Townsend getting credit for the tackle, making the first contact, but he was contained very well on that play for no gain. It's 3rd down and 10 now for the Rebels at the Viking 17-yard line. Twins right, Twins left. Here's the snap. Steps back, he throws down the middle, and it's incomplete, just out of the reach of the intended receiver. Caden Hadawi was there, one of the defenders, and just as the ball went out of his reach, he and Jordan Mercado made contact, clean legal contact, I believe. Now there's a pause in the play. Looks like Lee is trying to get their play called in. The play clock is down to 10 seconds. It's 4th and 10 for the Rebels at the Viking 17-yard line after that incomplete pass. The play clock has gone down to 1 second, and looks like Lee has called timeout. They have. So that's the first timeout for Lee of the half. And we are at 10:03 to go in the 4th quarter. The Vikings have all 3 timeouts left. The Rebels just took their first timeout, so they have 2 left. Interesting situation here with the ball at the Viking 17-yard line. It's 4th and 10 for the Rebels. The Viking defense trying to do another stand here to keep the Rebels out of the end zone.
Top it off with a cookie, a brownie, or break pie. Of course, you can always get Bush's famous ice.
Well, quite an exciting game. Everything all of these fans paid for, the few thousand that came from locally, the few hundred that came basically down Interstate 20 to Midland on a beautiful afternoon. And both teams now return to the playing field. And it looks like number 88 is going to come out to attempt a 34-yard field goal. That's Loic Fungi, I believe is how you say the name. It's got a lot of vowels in there. Here's the snap. Hold, the kick is up, and it's going to be no good. It just shanked over to the right. And so the Viking defense comes up strong again, keeps the Rebels out of the end zone, not even allowing the field goal. And so with 9:57 to go in the game, the Vikings trail 26-28, but they're going to have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Wow, what a turn of events, because the two up-the-middle runs by the Lee Rebels on that last drive, one of them resulting in an apparent touchdown, but there was the block in the back call that brought that back. Set up a 1st and 5, and then on the ensuing, after the first down was made, on the next 3 downs, the Vikings held to make it 4th and 10, and then the failed field goal attempt. Now the Vikings come out, twins left, single right, 2 in the backfield with Dawson this time. He keeps it up the middle, big hole for him to the 30, 35, he stiff arms the guy at the 40, 45, 50, 45-yard line. Jack Dawson, now they're going to say he steps out of bounds at the 50, but what a 30-yard run by Jack Dawson. Connor Lowen, the center, and then number 71, David Salas, also on the offensive line, number 52, Gerardo Castro. I want to make sure all these guys up front get credit. They blew a beautiful hole open. You could have literally driven a truck through that hole. 1st and 10 at the 50-yard line for the Vikings. Play clock is down to 12 seconds. New play is called. It's going to be a handoff up the middle, and he'll get nowhere. It's going to be a no gain to the 50-yard line. So after the line is able to, and that was Caden Hadawi lining up in a running back position. So Caden Hadawi has played slot receiver, running back on offense, in addition to his kickoff punt coverage duties and linebacker. Trips left, twins right, empty backfield. Now a penalty flag is thrown. Well, the Vikings hadn't even got set yet, and there's a flag thrown. So now it's going to be 2nd down and 15 for the Vikings at their own 45-yard line. I didn't think they were even set to where they could call the illegal procedure, but no one's arguing. So once again, trips left, twins right, empty set. Dawson takes a snap, throws to the flat, and is dropped by Caden Hadawi, unfortunately, in and out of his hands. I think he was looking to see where he might be able to run about the time that ball was landing in his hands, and that's going to bring up 3rd down and 15 for the Vikings at their own 45. Boy, needing to do something big here. They don't want to turn the ball right back over to the Rebels. Huge 3rd down for both teams. Some of the Rebel fans getting on their feet, making lots of noise. Here's a snap. Dawson's back. Throws downfield. Trayvon West catches it. It's a 1st down for the Vikings at the 38-yard line inside Lee territory. What a beautiful 3rd down conversion. Jack Dawson was getting some pressure. Saw Trayvon West over on this sideline. Made that beautiful play. Trayvon West reached out and grabbed it. And it's 1st and 10 for the Vikings at the Lee Rebel 37-yard line. The excitement just won't end in this game. It's going to be a handoff. Jalen Jones, he's going to be stopped shy of the 1st down. Shy of the line of scrimmage, I'm sorry. A penalty flag is thrown from the defensive secondary toward the line of scrimmage. Looks like it's going to be against the Vikings. Chop block against the Vikings. So that's going to cost us 15 yards. That's a very costly penalty in a situation where it didn't even give us any good advantage. But the chop block will put the ball now back at our own 48-yard line. And that's going to be 1st down and 25. So you'll know what to listen for. The Vikings need to get to the 27-yard line for a 1st down. They come out with trips left, single right. Bradley in the backfield to the right of Dawson. It's a pass over to the far flat. It's caught at the 40, across the 50 to the 40. And now it's going to be, it's about a 15-yard gain. So they got the penalty yardage back there. That's going to bring up 2nd down and 10. So they got back to 15 yards. They lost on the chop block penalty. 2nd down and 10. Trying to get to the 27-yard line for the 1st down. Trips right, single left. Matthew Shaw in motion. Dawson has the ball. He steps, throws across the middle. It's complete. 1st down at the 25-yard line. Jalen Jones got open in a crossing pattern. Caught the ball right in the middle of the field. He gets tackled at the far hash mark. 1st and 10 Vikings. They're moving the ball now at the Lee Rebel 24-yard line. They trail 28-26. Any score here, a field goal or a touchdown, would put them in the lead. Touchdown is much preferable. Trips right, single left. Here's a snap. Dawson steps back, throws to the side. Trayvon West is open. No! Oh, and it's in and out of the hands of the defender. Wow, we dodged a bullet there. That ball not thrown quite far enough by Jack Dawson, and the defender for Midland Lee reached up, had his hands on it, and just dropped it. So fortunately for us, even though we didn't get the touchdown there, they don't get the ball on the turnover. So now 2nd down and 10 for the Vikings at the Rebel 24-yard line. Twins left, single right. One in the backfield. Dawson steps back, throws to the far side. He's got a receiver, Dayton Dubs. He's got the catch at the 10-yard line. 1st down and 10 for the Vikings. And it's going to be 1st and goal at the 10-yard line exactly. So 1st and goal for the Vikings now. The pass complete to Dayton Dubs at the far sideline. Moving the ball very productively. It's been a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde series of offenses for both teams. Sometimes they move it well, sometimes they don't. Here's a snap. It's a handoff to Jalen Jones, who comes in motion. He gets inside to about the 7-yard line. That's where he's going to have his forward progress stopped. So a 3-yard gain. That's going to bring up 2nd down and goal at the 7-yard line. The Vikings knocking on the door inside the red zone, trying to retake the lead they had back in the 1st quarter.
Jones on the field.
6:49 to go. The clock is rolling. 19 seconds on the play clock. Vikings getting the call from the sidelines. They've got twins right, single left. One in the backfield just to the left, now to the right. Nope, back to the left. Michael Bradley to the left. Now Matthew Shaw in motion. Dawson takes the ball, rolls left, throws. It's complete. Matthew Shaw, touchdown Vikings. 10-yard touchdown pass from Jack Dawson to Matthew Shaw on the far side of the field, and the Vikings retake the lead. It's 32-28. And now with the 4-point lead, it looks like they're going to go for 2 to try to get back those 2 points. From the missed extra points earlier. Matthew Shaw in motion. It's going to be a handoff up the middle. Then it's a pass, and it's complete. No, it's incomplete. I'm sorry. It looked like he had it. Caden Hadawi, I'm sorry, I've got to describe what happened to you, and I apologize for calling it complete too early. Jack Dawson took the snap, handed it off to Jalen Jones, who then threw a pass to Caden Hadawi. It looked like he had it, but it hit the ground first. So the 2-point conversion attempt is no good, and the score now is Lamar 32, Lee 28. Now what that would have done, it would have made the score 34-28, a 6-point margin. If Lee were to score a touchdown or 1-point conversion, would give them the lead back. So not a real bad situation by not getting that 2-point conversion, a pretty good gamble, but at least it's a 4-point lead, so a field goal will not get the lead back for the Lee Rebels. A fun, exciting game all the way through this one. The lead changed back and forth and now back in favor of the Vikings for the first time, I believe, since the 1st quarter. Lee has 2 men deep at the 10-yard line, assuming, or it looks like they're preparing for maybe a pooch kick. They've got 2 on the 25 and 2 on the 35. Villegas approaches the ball on the tee, kicks it fairly deep. It's going to be fielded at the 5-yard line on this side. Now it's a handoff to this side, to the 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 50, 40. Cade Tresh is going to try to get him. He can't get him. That's a kick 6. Wow. What a change of momentum after the Vikings worked their way all the way down the field and scored. Now the kickoff return for a touchdown. And they retake the lead 34-32 with 6:10 to go. Like I said, this game is exciting all the way through. Now we've seen a kick 6 in the game. Now waiting for the point after. That'll be pretty important. It's a 2-point margin right now. Here's a snap, the hold, the kick is up, and it's good. So now it's a 3-point margin, 35-32 in favor of the Lee Rebels. Wow, what a turn of events. The kick was fairly deep back to the 30-yard line. I mean, the 10-yard line. Fielded and then handed off. Kind of a reverse type play, but again came across to this side of the field. He had a seam, made his way, broke a couple of tackles, especially at the end. And just like that, in almost less than a few heartbeats, the lead goes back to the Rebels, 35-32. The good thing is, at least it's a 3-point lead, and at least we have a really good kicker in Juan Villegas, should that come into play here in just a little bit. 6 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the game. 2 men deep for the Vikings. Trayvon West on the far side. Jalen Jones on this side. Ball's on the tee. Here comes the kick. It's a deep kick all the way back. It's going to be fielded at the 1-yard line by, oh my gosh, he hits his knee at the 2-yard line. Trayvon West fielded the ball. He slipped down and his knee went down at the 2. Now they're going to say the 3-yard line. He had some open room to run also. And wow, just like that, now it seems like a demoralizing incident, as the Vikings are going to have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 3-yard line. But they've come out of these spots before, deep in their own territory. No time went off the clock. It's still 6 minutes, 10 seconds to go in the game. This Lee crowd is now on their feet, making some noise. 1st and 10 for the Vikings at their own 3. Here's the snap. Dawson's back in his end zone. Throws to the far side. It's caught for a 1st down at the 14-yard line, it looks like. Yes, so 11 yards on that play. What a great, important 1st down play. You're coming out of the hole at your own 3-yard line. You get 11 yards to the 14. Definitely gives you some breathing room. 5:50 to go in the game. The Vikings at their own 14-yard line, 1st and 10. The excitement is thick in the air. Here's the snap. It's a handoff to Jalen Jones coming around this end. Bounces off one man. He's going to be caught just about the line of scrimmage. Strung that out as far as he could, but never could find a hole to break up the field. And it looks like they're going to say basically no gain. The ball still basically at the 14-yard line. 2nd down and 10 now for the Vikings.
2nd down, 10.
Coming out with 3 receivers left, 1 right, while they're waiting for the play to be called. Now the offensive line comes to the line of scrimmage. 1 in the backfield just to the left of Dawson. He takes a snap, steps back in the pocket, throws across the middle, off of one of the Lee Rebels and into the hands of another, and it looks like they're going to say no catch, no interception. Wow. I don't know what video review would say here, but it looks like he might have had an interception, but they're going to say the ball hit the ground. The Vikings dodge a bullet there. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 10 at their own 14. Pass bounced off of one of the Lee defenders at about the 25-yard line up in the air, and then another Lee defender somewhere on the 35-yard line reached out to try to catch it. Looked like he might have had it. The official said it hit the ground. Big 3rd down here for the Vikings. Dawson steps back. He's in the pocket, has pressure, throws down the field. Trayvon West is over there. It's intercepted. There's the flag on the play, and I think that's going to be offensive interference. I think Trayvon West pushed off of the defender. Let's see what they say. It was an interception by the Lee Rebels. And now there's some excitement among the coaches and the players on this sideline. It looks like it will be offensive interference, which will be declined. And the Lee Rebels will take over at about their own 45-yard line, 1st and 10 after that interception. A desperation throw by Jack Dawson into double coverage. He was aiming for Trayvon West on this sideline, and one of the Lee Rebels was able to jump up and intercept that ball. So that kills that drive for the Vikings, trailing by 3 points. Now the Lee Rebels are in control. They've 4:42 to go in the game, but this Viking defense on some occasions today has bended and not broken. Let's see what they do here. It's going to be a handoff up the middle across the line of scrimmage to the 40 down to the 37-yard line. 8 yards on that play. That'll bring up 2nd down and 2 for the Vikings. For the Rebels at the 37-yard line in Viking territory. Here's a snap. It's a pass to this flat. It's caught. It's at the 35. He's moving around to the 30. Now the 25-yard line. And now the Rebels are having some success on offense as they get the ball down to the 25-yard line, 1st and 10. Knocking on the door. The Rebels have a 3-point lead. It's 35-32. 4 minutes to go in the game. They're in no hurry to do much. Probably trying to milk as much off of that clock as they can. The play clock is down to 16 seconds. Twins right, single left. One in the backfield with the quarterback. Zone read. It's a handoff. He's caught in the backfield. Bobby Brown tackles him back at the 30-yard line. They're going to say his forward progress was to the 28. So that'll be a loss of 3 yards. 2nd down and 13. Downtown Bobby Brown breaks through to the backfield. Stops that play behind the line of scrimmage. That's a big play for the Viking defense. 3:18 and the clock is rolling. 17 seconds on the play clock. Twins right, single left. One in the backfield to the left of the quarterback. Here's a snap. Zone read. It's a handoff up the middle of the right side now across the 25. And he's going to get to the 23-yard line, 22-yard line. Now a timeout is called. So Lamar uses their first timeout to stop the clock with 3:01 to go. It's about a 4-yard gain on that play. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 8 at the 23-yard line. The Vikings defense is trying to hold the Rebels out of the end zone. The Rebels have the ball, 3rd down and 8 at the Viking 23-yard line. They're trying to get to the 15 for a 1st down. That's the yard line to listen for on the next play. Quite an exciting game. Lots of momentum shifts. One of the keys right now so far in the game is that 90-yard or so kick 6 just several minutes ago that put the Lee Rebels back in the lead quickly right after Lamar had taken over the lead for the first time in quite a while. All right, timeout is over. The teams come out on the field. Again, 3rd down and 8 for the Rebels at the Viking 23-yard line. Trying to get to the 15. A lot of these Lee Rebel fans on their feet. Twins right. It's going to be a quarterback keeper over the right side across the 20 to 15, down to the 10-yard line. And that's going to be 1st and goal for the Rebels at the 10-yard line. Well, can the Viking defense keep them out of the end zone? 2:42 to go in the game. They've got twins right. 2 tight ends, one in the backfield with the quarterback. Just to the left of the quarterback. Here's a snap. It's handoff up the middle. He's going to get to about the 8-yard line. Just a 2-yard gain on that play, it looks like. And now timeout is called again by the Vikings. They use their second timeout. 2:19 to go. That's going to bring up second down and goal at the 8-yard line. The Vikings in a tough spot here.
Down to the 8-yard line.
Having to stop the clock using their timeouts. Hopefully they get the ball back with only the 3-point margin and with enough time to get down to the other end of the field and score. Quite the exciting game here. 35 to 32 in favor of the Lee Rebels. The Vikings just used their second timeout of the half. Regardless of what the scoreboard says, if you're looking at your screen, it is second down and goal at the 8. The teams are back on the field. Twins right, one in the backfield, 2 tight ends for the Rebels. Lamar playing 7 men up front, 6 men up front. It's a quarterback keeper around the left side on the zone read. He pushes forward toward the goal line. He's going to be stopped at the half-yard line. So now it's going to be third down and goal inside the 1-yard line. Biggest third down of the game so far for either team, especially for the Viking defense, trying to keep the Lee Rebels out of the end zone. 1:51 to go in the game. The play clock at 20 seconds. They're looking back to their sideline for the play. 12 seconds on the play clock. They're going to milk it down as far as they can. Here's the snap. Quarterback keeper, he goes over the middle. Touchdown, Rebels. That might be the death knell in this game. It's going to be tough to score twice now, as the Lee Rebels just took the lead 41 to 32. Quite the exciting game with lots of offensive output from both teams, some important defensive stops from both teams. And again, that kick 6 by the Rebels in this quarter that gave them the lead back, and now it's been extended. The kick for the extra point is up and it's good. And now the score is Lee 42, Lamar 32, a 10-point margin. 2 scores are going to be needed to get this game either tied or a win. So what can the Vikings do here with 1:33 on the clock and only 1 timeout at their disposal? Both teams have played a really great game. It's been a really clean game overall. There's been a few penalties here or there, but nothing outlandish, no dirty plays, nothing like that, just some mistakes once in a while. Really a great, well-played game by both Midland Lee and Lamar. And so far, it's the 10-point lead for the Rebels with 1:33 to go. The Vikings have 5 up front between the 45 and 50-yard line. They've got 2. Well, they got 2 of them now moving back to about the 30. So we'll have 2 on the 30, 1 on the 35. Jalen Jones and Trevon West deep at the 10. It's a pooch kick. It's going to be fielded at the 29-yard line across the 30 to the 35 to the 36-yard line. So the Vikings will start with pretty decent field position. The Lee Rebels did the pooch kick, I'm sure partly to make sure or minimize the chance of a big return. So 4 seconds or so went off the clock. It's 1:29 now to go in the game. The ball is at the 37-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Vikings in their own territory. They're going to have to score quickly and then get an onside kick and score again. Twins left, trips right, empty backfield. Dawson, the quarterback. He takes the snap, steps, throws quickly to this flat. Caden Hidawi at the 35 to the 40, 45. Stiff arms the guy at the 50. Let's see where he goes out of bounds. He does have the first down. He got out of bounds on his own to stop the clock. They're going to mark him at the 50-yard line. So 13 yards on that screen pass and then the run by Hidawi. First and 10 at the 50-yard line for the Vikings. 1:22 to go. Clock will start on the snap. Trips left, Twins right. Dawson, he throws quickly to the far flat. Short hops it to Dayton Dubs. So it'll be second down and 10. Only 4 seconds off the clock. Now it's 1:18 to go. Ball again placed at the 50-yard line. Second and 10. Looks like we're going to again have Trips left, Twins right. Dayton Dubs on the far sideline. Matthew Shaw next, then Caden Hadawi. Then on this side, Trevon West and Jalen Jones. 5 receivers ready. 10 seconds on the play clock. Here's the snap. Dawson steps back, looks left, looks right, throws down the middle of the field, and it's just out of the reach of Jalen Jones. Straight down the middle of the field. He was in double coverage. Lots of traffic there. Some of those defenders released their receivers they were covering when they saw what was going on. And so now it's going to bring up third down and 10 at the 50-yard line. Definitely 4 down territory. Trailing by 10 with 1:10 to go in the game. Again, Trips left, Twins right. Dawson in the backfield by himself. Here's the snap. Steps back. He's in the pocket. Throws over the middle. It's caught. To 40. Jalen Jones to the 35-yard line. That'll be a first down. The clock will stop just long enough to move the chains. The Vikings need to hustle up to the line of scrimmage. First and 10 at the Lee 35-yard line. And now, timeout on the field. Timeout's called by Lee. Looks like maybe they had to either rearrange some staffing out on the field, or perhaps they're saying, you know what, let's slow this thing down and let's make sure we know what kind of coverage we want defensively. So VFND definitely at play here. Viking fight never dies. 55 seconds to go. The Vikings are moving the ball. They're inside Lee territory at the 35-yard line, first and 10. There's currently a timeout on the field called by the Lee Rebels. Each team has 1 timeout left. Do the Vikings have something special lined up? Are they going to be able to at least tie this game and put it into overtime with a couple of scores? The Vikings come back out onto the field. Trips left, Twins right. Empty backfield. Here's the snap. Dawson's back. Throws across the middle. Is caught by Jalen Jones at the 29-yard line. He goes down immediately. 48 seconds to go. The Vikings hustle up to the line of scrimmage. Here's the snap. Dawson's back. He throws to this sideline. It's caught, and it's going to be out of bounds for a completion. Trevon West gets the first down and stops the clock. 36 seconds to go. The excitement won't stop. 21-yard line, first and 10 for the Vikings. Again, Trips left, Twins right. Actually, no, single right. Jalen Jones is in the backfield with Dawson. Dawson takes a snap. He's in the pocket, throws over toward the end zone. Trevon West is there. Touchdown Vikings! Trevon West makes the catch in the end zone. 27 seconds to go. There is a flag, though, in the backfield in the area that might indicate holding, and unfortunately it looks like this is going to come back. I didn't see that flag at first. No, it is a touchdown. Oh, personal foul on the defense. Roughing the quarterback. Wow, so the touchdown is good. And the flag, and the reason I didn't see it, it came late after the touchdown was scored. So the Vikings get the touchdown. Here comes an important extra point because they trail by 4. Kate Tresh the snapper, Jack Dawson to hold, Villegas to kick. Here's the snap, the hold, the kick is up, splits, oh! No, it hits the upright. It hits the far left upright and bounces back into the end zone. Whoa, 3 missed extra points at least by the Vikings. And the score now 42-38. Well, that's huge because had they made that extra point, a field goal would tie it and put it in overtime. Now it's a 4-point lead, and the Vikings are going to have to score a touchdown. There's not really a good chance for overtime here. What a disappointment that is, and how uncharacteristic for the Vikings kicking squad. 3 extra points have been missed. And then going for 2 once. So basically 4 times they've not been successful on the point after. And that's the difference in the game. Had all those extra points been good, we'd be tied 42 all. So after that roughing the passer personal foul penalty, the Vikings kick off from the 45-yard line in Rebel territory. Now you got to figure the onside kick is coming. Here it goes. It bounces high in the air. Now there's a scrum for the ball, and I can't see who has it. The officials haven't made a call yet, and Lee gets it. Lee has the ball. It was close, though. There were some Viking players jumping up in the air. Now there's a penalty flag on the play. Well, after the play is over, I don't know what happened in that scrum area, but a late penalty flag has come out. Well, everything's pretty much done now in this game because the Rebels only have to take a knee once with 25 seconds on the clock. Vikings have a timeout, but I don't think it'll do any good to call that timeout because they'll just be able to take knees again after that. Wow, so it's a game where point afters made the difference. It appears the final score is going to be 42-28 in favor of Lee. So there's a 15-yard penalty against number 5 for the Rebels there at the end. That's going to be Elijah Prince. That'll move the ball back to the 15-yard line, but it really won't matter. It'll be 1st and 10 there for the Rebels. And again, all they're going to have to do is take a knee with only 25 seconds left in the game. Wow, what a tough way for this game to end. Both teams having scored 6 touchdowns, but it all comes down to that kicking game this time, which is very unusual for the Vikings. Well, the Rebels are going to line up in victory formation. Here's a snap. Quarterback takes a knee at the 9-yard line, and that's going to do it as the clock will zero out here in 14 seconds. And you can see the despair on the faces of the Vikings. You can't, I can. Some of them taking knees, some of them just kind of sort of squatting down on the field. A tough way to get knocked out of the playoffs. They scored as many touchdowns as the Rebels did. The Rebels are going to move on to play Trinity, I believe I said it earlier, next week. Well, my hat's off to both the teams here. Both teams played extremely well. It was a close, hard-fought game all the way through. Lots of class showed by both teams. The fans on both sides, very classy as well. Everything just made its way out to be a great day for football. The weather, the fans, the stadium, and the teams. And congratulations to the Midland Lee Rebels for winning this game 42-38. That's going to do it for our broadcast. We want to thank you for tuning in, so to speak, on the internet and listening and supporting these Vikings all the way through. It's been a great season. They've had some ups and downs. They finished strong. Once again, coming up 4 points short, 42-38. I'm Bill Frawley. Our producer is Jay Ryan. This broadcast was brought to you by the Lamar Viking Football Booster Club through an agreement with the University Interscholastic League. For the final time this season, VFND.